Welcome to Monday Club. Woo! Wow, do we have an episode planned for you today? We have one of the original Monday Clubbers himself in studio, Norman Ing, with
What's
us in
up?
our first ever episode. Episode 11.
Woo!
My name's Peter Bois. We've got Gus Davis, as usual. This is so much stuff in here. We're talking about Norm crying, old footage of my very first show, 10 ways to make your summer awesome Monday Club style. It's Norm's birthday today. Woo! What? And we teach you some things. Welcome to Monday Club. Cheers, gentlemen.
Cheers!
Whoa. Cheers to the first ever episode 11. Ever.
This is a huge deal.
I can't believe you guys made it over this hump.
This is a big thing. This is the first ever time that two ones have appeared in front of the Monday Club logo.
I know. So, first, we are here with our first ever guest, and we have the honor of having our first ever guest be the one and only Norman Ing.
Hello, welcome to the show. Hello, Peter. Hello, Gus. I'm so pumped to be back here.
Thanks for coming, man. This is so exciting.
How often do you get to drink at like 11 in the morning and not get yelled at? This is great.
On Monday Club, man. Monday Club.
It's Monday, yeah.
For those of you who don't know, me and Norman started Monday Club 2 years ago, and through reasons that happened, there was just too much going on
Peter
in
fired
lives.
me, essentially.
We had to stop Monday Club, and then me and Gus started again. But me and Norm got to episode 10, but we've never done an episode 11. So we thought bringing Norm back for the first ever episode 11 on Monday Club would be fitting.
I am so honored.
And not only that is it episode 11, it is Norm's birthday today.
It is my birthday. Oh, God, birthday shots.
Yeah, we have birthday shots lined up. It's funny. It's 10 o'clock in the morning your time. It's 9 o'clock in the morning my time. So this is
Wow,
this is great.
we are regular alcoholics. This is how it begins.
This is my cry for help.
So what are we? What is in my
gentlemen,
glass here?
Well, cheers first.
Oh, okay.
And
I already screwed the show up.
yeah, that was the birthday shot.
Oh, God.
That was whiskey.
Ah.
Bullet bourbon rye whiskey. What did you shoot, Gus?
I was super classy and just drank directly out of the bottle of this Dripping Springs vodka. And I'll tell you what, nothing tastes like 9 a.m. like drinking vodka out of the bottle.
Where's your paper bag, man? Normally I see you.
Where's your
with the
Russian
paper bag.
accent?
Oh my god, that's what I need. I need to have that little the 3-day stubble on my chin and a paper bag. What's really funny is I was almost late for this episode because I was trying to go to a gas station and buy alcohol for this specific episode because I didn't want to drink nothing but straight vodka out of the bottle.
Oh, so at least it's not out of a plastic jug.
Yeah, it's true. But I'll tell you, you guys saved me some because I sure didn't want to walk in at 8:45 in the morning to a gas station and ask where the alcohol was.
Is that even legal in Texas? Do you guys have those crazy rules where you can't buy things on certain times?
We have the craziest rules about how and when you can buy alcohol, but the weirdest part is it's such a strange mix of crazy religious blue laws, and it's Texas, so you have all of the freedoms. So you can buy beer from 7 a.m. to 11 p.m. or something like that. But you can't buy it on Sunday. Liquor stores close at 8 o'clock Monday through Saturday, don't open on Sunday. And on Sunday, you can only buy beer that's or alcohol that's 17% or less. I'll have to fact check that. But it's something weird like that. So
that's against my core values. You should be able to self-medicate any time of the day and get your medicine. Oh, man, I am an alcoholic. Damn it.
This is an intervention, Norm.
Yeah.
We forgot to tell you. We got you in a room together
Oh,
to...
no. Is that what that banner on the wall is? Damn it.
It says, we love you, Norm.
We've got the token for you just sitting right here whenever you're ready to accept it, buddy.
Oh, I am in trouble.
Oh, man. Dude, it's your birthday today. Happy birthday.
I'm old. You know, it's funny. You're on episode 11. I am now 33 with the 3.
Double digits.
Yes, can you believe it? Double matching digits. Like a palindrome for numbers. Is there a word for that?
I don't know. Is it? And what's the thing where you have two letters in the same?
That's an anagram.
An
that's,
anagram.
No,
Anagram.
Anagram. Hey, I don't think we should
Numbergram?
try to sound smart just because Norm's on this episode.
Oh, man. So, wait, we cheers to the first ever episode 11. Cheers to your birthday, man.
Yeah, hey,
Ready?
double
Cheers.
Double cheers.
Yeah. All right. So, I am drinking Baxter Brewing Company, besides whiskey, Baxter Brewing Company Tarnation. It's a Maine lager brewed right here in Maine, and it's delicious. I love it.
Nice. I'm drinking this Harpoon IPA, and I must say before the recording here, I actually took a shot of something already. So I'm already 3 drinks in. I'm kind of buzzed, just to let you guys know.
All right. This is going to be a long and slurry Monday Club.
All right. Well, it's fine. I actually had to decide. I decided to cut my straight vodka with some. I have some lime juice,
Capri Sun,
and some Topo Chico. So I'm mixing as we go.
What is
We'll
Topo Chico? Did you just make that up? What is that?
Dude, we already talked about this on one of the episodes. Topo Chico is this,
it's water.
It's mineral water. Yeah, it's mineral water from Mexico. All the hipsters in Austin are drinking it, and it's really freaking good. So, yeah, you should check it out.
What is mineral water? It's just water, right?
It's bubbly water.
Oh, bubbly.
Like
Isn't that
Perrier.
like club water? Or is that
Club
what they call
soda?
it? Club soda? No, that's different.
Yeah, sort of. I mean,
Sorta.
you can use it as a substitute for club soda.
You're drinking bubbly.
Bubbly. I like bubblies in my drink.
Topo Chica.
Topo
Mineral
Chico.
water.
Topo
Chica.
Chico. Topo
Oh,
Chico.
okay.
Oh my
Topo
god,
Chico.
this episode already.
Oh, man. So, thank you guys for listening. Thank you all for listening. We are so excited that you are listening to our first ever episode 11. Check us out, MondayClubPodcast.com. Subscribe on iTunes. There's links all on MondayClubPodcast.com. For all that stuff, give us some love with a review up there. And, yeah, tell a friend. Tell a friend about us. We really want more people in the club.
They want episode 12, so you got to keep listening. I'm honored that you had enough listeners to support all the way to episode 11. This is great.
And if we just get one more listener, we will be able to continue on to episode 12. So,
wow. And I must
It's on you.
it's a
It's on
good
you,
show.
listener.
If this is your first episode, I've actually been listening to every episode of this current 2.0 version.
man,
And, I really like it.
thanks, man.
If
Thanks for
I didn't
supporting.
like it, I wouldn't come on the show. I'd be like, I gotta-
Hey, so Norm, do you have any websites or projects that you want to plug for yourself, man? Since you're on the show.
So part of the reason I left this show is I actually kind of left show business. So I went from a professionally fully touring magician along with Peter and Gus here to now being kind of a semi-retired one. So I have this other endeavor where I, believe it or not, sell tractor parts. So
Sorry,
if
every
you guys
time you say that,
you
it's
know,
crazy.
the best thing, because I don't know how many tractor listeners you have. The best thing, if you guys should come and see what I do, go to youtube.com/iSaveTractors, and pretty much all I do now is I build crazy shit out of like small tractors. So
And record
check
it on
out.
YouTube,
And record
right?
it on YouTube. So yeah, that's
Yeah.
I have a growing YouTube channel. So come out and see.
I'm not laughing because I think it's crazy. I'm laughing because it's a non sequitur of careers.
Okay, I'm stupid. What the hell does that mean? It's just a big jump, right? Is that what you mean?
Non sec. Yeah, like they meet.
Use
There's no
small
connection.
Words.
There's
Small words. Yeah.
there's no.
Well, the
connection.
good news is Monday Club tests really well with the tractor community.
Oh,
So
great!
I think
Oh,
this
great!
is
You've
gonna be
done
a
the
big bump
focus
for
group
you.
already. Oh.
You're gonna get a lot of business.
Yeah. Oh, great, great. Yeah. Like I'm the
You're gonna get the
only
Monday Club
Asian
bump
dude
for
doing
the
tractor stuff.
community.
You know, maybe I'll bring my tractor listeners to this show. I've already been promoting.
Actually, let's hash this out, man. So this is you did sort of retire from entertainment. I know you still go out and do shows, but most of your focus is on this tractor rebuild thing. How does an entertainer who's traveling all over the country, flying in airplanes, doing the big illusions, how does an entertainer go from that to building tractors? Like what happened, man? What was the deal?
You know, I'm still trying to figure out a more concise way of telling people, but it started as a hobby. My second son was born completely deaf. They call it profoundly deaf, and he got cochlear implants. And for his third birthday, I decided to get this old small tractor and restore it for him and build it a front-end loader for it and give it to him as birthday tractor. And I did that, and he loved it so much that he wanted to start restoring tractors with me. So we did it together, and it was a way to teach him like spoken language. When you work with a kid with cochlear implants, he doesn't hear like you and I do, but he still hears. So it's extra hard for him to learn how to structure words. So we started working on tractors together as an exercise for that. And then one thing led to another. I started doing it as a business. I started realizing that there are parts not available out there, and I started having them made for us. So pretty much it just kind of fell into my lap, and now I'm like known as the old tractor guru. Like literally all people from around the world call me all the time and ask me technical questions. And while on the road, I studied mechanics and got like a lot of certifications and stuff like that. I'm just a big nerd. That's the in short of it.
Dude, that's a beautiful story, man.
Yeah.
Like that's freaking great.
Yeah.
Wow. So Peter and I talked about this on one episode a long time ago, but for me personally, most of what I do in the entertainment world doesn't have a start and completion segment, if that makes any sense. It's like I'm constantly trying to get new business or thinking about
Sure.
new routines or how do I make this better. But none of those things have a real completion date. They're just me trying to work on projects. But I guess this is kind of a leading question, but do you find that working on tractors, it's like, man, I can start off with just a lump of metal and rust and crap and end up with this thing that's sellable. It's like that's a completed project. Like you just put a stamp on it.
It is the most incredible feeling, and that's why I'm kind of an addictive personality already. I mean, I'm drinking at 11 in the morning here. Like, it is amazing. Yeah, I take something that's like 60 years old, and I bring it back to life, and then I build this contraption on it from just raw steel. It is amazing. Like, I want to stand up and beat my chest and be like, I am man. I did this. And
so you get a man card for...
I do.
Gus, you should fix a tractor
You
after
should.
last episode's pedicures and manicures.
And maybe that's what I do. It's like an overcompensation, I guess, for like penis size or something. Like I keep building more and more machines, keep beating my chest, and it's an incredible. It's almost like performing on stage. So when you said it was non sequitur in your smart ass way, it is.
Wait, who says I'm a smart ass? Show of hands.
Trying to be smart. I can't use big words like that. It is similar in the sense of performing on stage and getting that applause. I get that same sense of high when I complete a project. It's incredible. So that jump was awesome. So thank you for giving me the opportunity to talk about the tractor stuff.
Yeah, absolutely, man. So how's your son doing?
He's doing great. So he's in first grade right now. He's probably gonna have to repeat first grade, but he's on the fast track after this to stick with the mainstream. He's doing great. So
Nice.
all the language building that I did before certainly helped.
Nice.
Dude,
And
that's awesome.
From tractors.
From tractors. Can you believe it?
Yeah, that's awesome.
And now it's like the tractor business has taken over my entire life. Like I'm more famous for tractor stuff than I am for magic stuff. I get 80-year-old people call me all the time, and they're like, wow, you're the same guy in that YouTube video? Like I'm talking to the Norman. And I'm like, it's me. I never get that for my magic. Even when I was on Penn and Teller, people would be like, oh, I saw you on Penn and Teller.
Yeah.
And then they'd walk away.
You know what's weird though? Like you're in that tractor community, and those are the people you're selling to. Is the people in the tractor community. So you want to be famous in that community.
Exactly.
In the magic world, being famous in the magic world, unless you're selling tricks,
It's true.
you don't want to be really. It doesn't matter. You know, I'm selling a show for people that don't know magic that I want to come see my show. You know,
That's true.
And so
That's
it's a
good point.
completely weird, different vibe of a market because I'm
Yeah.
not selling to other magicians. You're selling to other tractor enthusiasts or
That's true.
mechanics.
That's
and stuff.
true.
And same with Gus, and same with you. You still do that a little bit,
I do.
and so it's kind of weird.
Yeah, in a weird way, I can totally see how a magic nerd brain can segue into being a specialist in something completely random. Because in order to be a magician, in order to do what it is that we do, I mean, you have to really do a lot of research and become just a real big nerd about one specific thing. And so I can totally that same concept, if you just took it and said, all right, well, I'm going to be the foremost experts on forks. or whatever, and just took that same idea and put that same amount of energy and focus into it. That I can see an army of 80-year-olds being like, well, that boy sure knows his forks.
That's exactly how they sound too.
All right.
That is totally true, because before this recording, I was giving Peter some of my tractor knowledge to help him with his magic.
Yeah.
And he was asking questions about like electronics, and I know I'm like certified in like electrical stuff, and I was able to give him information to work on his magic tricks. And it's totally true. Like, he was using, like, to be a magician is not just to know card tricks, it's to know like the laws of the universe, so you can shatter
psychology
them.
and NLP and all that stuff.
There's so much, yeah. And not to toot your horn a bunch, but
you're gonna toot my horn?
Yeah, I'm gonna toot your
wow.
horn, man.
Please continue.
Anything you do, I've been friends with you since what? I was 14 or 15, and anything you put your mind to, you always become amazing at. So
cry.
We're having a moment here. So it doesn't surprise me how good you are at the tractor shit.
Thank you.
So yeah, man, I'm happy.
This is why Peter is my best friend in the whole world. He's the only one who tells me this stuff. That's great.
Well, cheers to Norman Ing. Cheers to being
I get another
33.
cheers.
Cheers to being an adult in this life, and cheers to making some awesome moves and decisions, buddy. Good job.
Wow. 3 cheers. Nice. I'm honored.
Yeah. So, guys, I have to tell you, my wife told me that she wants all my VHS tapes out of the house. So, for those of you who don't know what a VHS tape is, they used to put movies on them.
I would be. Do people really not know what VHS tapes are?
If you're under 20, maybe not. 25,
no,
under
it's
25.
true. People might not know what VHS tapes are.
No,
that's
incredible.
That's crazy.
So they're like audio cassette. Oh, you don't know what an audio cassette is? They're
mixtapes.
It's a tape. It's like a thin film of a tape that goes around a reel, and somehow they put information on
Wait,
that.
what information goes on a piece of tape? Incredible.
Yeah, it's weird. So she wanted them out, so I told her I would commence my project of digitizing all of my VHS tapes. That's all, basically it's just kind of home videos and magic videos that I bought before DVDs were cool. So I've been digitizing everything, and I dug up my first ever magic show.
That's
ever
awesome.
Recorded by my uncle at the Topsom Grange Hall when I was 15. I've been saying I was 15, but I looked at the time and date stamp on it, and it's actually when I was 16. So I've been lying for many years. But it was right after my birthday, so it was very close to when I was 15. And I did a show recently, a couple weeks ago in my hometown, and so I'm putting this vlog together. If you've been listening, I've been vlogging on YouTube, and I went to the old Grange Hall where I did my show to get it into my vlog, and I decided that in my next vlog, I'm going to cut some of that footage from my very first show into this vlog. And last night, I watched it in its entirety.
That's awesome.
Wow.
You're probably cringing the whole time.
How much did you cry?
I wasn't crying. I was clenching a lot.
Are you amazed that you were able to become a professional?
I was like, wow, yeah. How did that ever pass as passable? Actually, the first half was extremely painful. And the second half, for my very first show in front of strangers, I would say not bad for my very first show. The second half.
You remembered your lines at the very least.
What do you mean lines? I said, look, I have a silk hanky here. Look at this.
It's gone.
Do you guys like magic? Do you believe in magic? Look at this silk hanky. Look, I did 100 tricks with silks. It was crazy.
That's the script of a lot of professional magicians nowadays.
True.
Here is a hanky,
dude. So I saw your notes that you had been looking at your old footage of your old magic shows, and I started thinking about that, and man, I realized that there are a couple of small pieces that are in my show when I do shows for kids and stuff like that I bought and I still use, that I used in my very first show.
My God,
they've just transitioned into little, and it's small things. It's I think I have a bag that I use to store shit, but it was my first bag. I bought that specifically for my first magic show.
That's awesome.
And there's I have a die box that I got that I used in my very first magic show ever, and it's still there. I still use it from time to time. It's crazy how that has just kept with me.
It's funny you mentioned that because I wasn't going to tell anybody this because I'm very embarrassed about it. But I did a rope routine in that very first show, and there are jokes and lines and effects from that rope routine that I still do to this very day.
Wow.
And I was embarrassed. I'm like, now I got to take this damn thing out.
So does that mean your set is
not my judging eyes, man? Like I think that it's amazing how that first taste has sort of lasted with me as long as it has. It was funny looking back on my first show and thinking to myself, like, man, there's a tiny piece of me that stayed from that first show that just lasted through my career now. It's made me a living.
Wow. I'm proud to say nothing from my original show is still in my current show. I got better.
Maybe you just were a bad magician to start out with.
Oh, maybe.
Was your hair the same way in your first show as it is now?
Oh!
Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
I've had this fucking hair for like forever. Nobody lets me get rid of it. And that almost segues into I always have to wear this hair.
We could talk more about the hair later if you want.
Okay, yeah, we'll get to that later. That's a good segue into what I have planned to talk about. But yes, I've actually had this hair forever.
So that is something that's been from the very first show.
That is true. That is.
All right, done.
And I think there's probably some validity to almost every magician out there. There's something from their very first show that has lasted through their current times.
There's something from close to my beginning, but not from the first show. Maybe from like the 12th show, I had something from the very beginning.
Well, the hair.
The hair. And I did a rope routine from the very beginning to now, but it wasn't at the very beginning. It was like maybe a couple years in, but it was pretty close. Yeah.
But yeah, it's pretty embarrassing. I want to see your footage, both of you.
Oh God.
Very first show ever. That would be an exchange.
I know it exists somewhere. I've seen it in the last 10 years, and I mean,
that's a Monday Club
like
bonus
the Jackson
episode.
5 meets terrible episode of the Teletubbies meets like
yeah, I love the Teletubbies.
Like a magic show from a kid on his first show. It's awful.
I don't have footage of my very first show. I have footage like much later during my like magic competition years, and Peter was involved in it. But there was like footage I got of me doing, at the time it was called the booger routine, where I did this whole, I remember we were in my basement jamming and working on competition magic material, and I had this, in my mind, it was this brilliant idea to do a routine surrounded around the theme of picking boogers out of my nose.
Green sponge balls!
I had them custom made for me by Al Goshman, and I remember like we had the video camera rolling with the big ass VHS tape, and I remember getting through like 60 seconds of it going and saying, stop the camera, what the fuck am I doing? This is boogers! And I remember Peter and I had like a 4-hour conversation on pretty much he was telling me what makes good magic, and how my booger routine was not that.
I'm saying that
pretty much.
I must have been like 14 years old.
Let me tell you something. At 14 years old, the whole concept of putting together a booger routine is like totally the best magic experience I think you could possibly have.
Like, I created custom sleight of hand to make it look like I stick my finger in my nose and pluck out a giant 3-inch diameter green booger, which was a sponge ball. And I had these custom dyed for me. Do you remember this,
I
Peter?
remember you had a huge box of sponge balls that were green. Like, they were limey booger green.
Yeah, they were. I couldn't even finish the recording. I just started, like, crying in front of Peter going, this is what my career has come to.
Your career, you're 14.
My 14-year-old career.
Yeah, I felt so bad because you were were so excited.
I was
about
so
it.
excited until I did it for a real person. So I think I actually threw away that footage because I was so embarrassed, and I regret that because I would love to have you digitize it.
Well, if I find it in I still have a ton of VHS tapes to digitize.
Wow.
If I find
Use it
it
as blackmail.
I'm going to post it on YouTube.
Oh, I would kill you.
I'm going to promote it on everywhere.
That would be really funny. But those are good times. Right?
Yeah.
No, I understand that's not the only time you've cried recently.
Yes. Since having kids, I'm like a big pussy. Like, I cry over everything. Like, I was just at my sister's wedding this past weekend, and she was walking down the aisle, and they started playing the Beauty and the Beast music with like a violin and piano. I literally not tearing up. I started bawling and trembling. Like, it was embarrassing. I could not hold it in. And do you remember that like Cheerios commercial where like the kid is like lying on the dad's like chest? Like, as soon as I see that, I instantly, any father-son sentiment, I instantly start crying. I just saw Guardians of the Galaxy 2, and there's a moment, and I start crying during like
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Guardians of the Galaxy, and there was a moment that isn't sentimental to anybody else, typically, but I started fucking, not just crying, but like bawling my eyes out.
Man.
And
well, you and Gus should go for pedicures.
So does this happen to you guys? You guys have kids? I think it's since having kids I cry.
Look, I'm gonna take your hand and hold it.
Oh, please do.
I'll tell you what,
it's
dude,
warm and comforting.
I am in the exact same boat. So my son was born, and I'm a grown ass man. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not usually super sentimental. I don't normally like just bust out into tears. Like, I've cut off pieces of my body and been like, oh, it's just a flesh wound. It's cool.
Badass.
But I'll tell you, my son was born. I had him all swaddled up. I was holding on to him. He was asleep. And I remember I was laying on my couch and fucking Superman 4 came on. Now,
wait, which Superman was this?
Yeah,
which
this
Superman?
Is the Superman?
Like the originals?
Superman gets rid of the nuclear weapons on Earth. Like, he just walks up in front of Congress. And
so this
like,
is Christopher Reeve Superman.
Yeah, this is old school Superman.
Is this the one with Richard Pryor?
Wires.
Is this the one with Richard Pryor?
What? Richard Pryor was in a Superman?
That's Superman 3.
He was in a Superman?
Yeah, he was in Superman.
The comedian?
3. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Oh, dude, Superman 3 is the best. Anyway, so he gets up in front of Congress, and he tells Congress, "Hey, I'm Superman, and there's nothing you can do about it. I'm going to get rid of nuclear weapons to save Earth, because this is my planet too, and screw you guys." And everyone's like, "Yay, Superman! He's going to save Earth!" And I realized I was just bawling.
You were bawling at that.
Like snotty tears.
That's
bawling.
not even like a father-son moment.
My son.
Oh, you thought he was like saving the world for your son. That's
like that. I had this weird thought, like, oh my god, the world would be so much like thank you, Superman, for taking that danger away from my kids.
So you guys have both cried during superhero movies.
Wow, we're we're pussy nerds. That's what it is.
I get when something heroic happens, I get a little like choked up, like, yeah, good job, but like I've never bawled.
You have no heart, Peter.
Superman.
You are cold. Wait, I want to back this up a little bit. So, you cried during. How old are you? You watched a Christopher Reeve Superman, and this wasn't when it came out in theaters, right? You were watching like
your age. I was 20.
Oh my god, he's counting. That's how old
I was probably
Gus
like
is.
29. I was 29 when that happened.
So did that movie just come out?
I watched it.
Wait, how old did you turn today, Norm?
Oh, I turned 33.
33.
I'm a youngin' still.
So I was 29. I was watching, and the reason why I watched that movie was because like I said, my son was asleep. He was all swaddled up on me, and I didn't want to move and wake him up and grab the remote and change it.
Oh, okay. So this was like a rerun. You you didn't have your kid during the Christopher Reeve Superman era.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Like,
this
hey,
makes
I'll
more
feed
sense.
you after Christopher Reeve
he would have been
the world.
He would have been 8.
And that's another like political topic too. So you're crying. You thought Superman was saving the world by getting rid of the nuclear weapons, but in that movie, he created a greater evil via Siegfried in superhero form.
Huh?
Yeah, that's true.
He was blonde. He looked like Siegfried from Siegfried and Roy.
I don't
Keep
think
up
I've
with the
ever
references.
seen Superman 4.
What kind of nerd are you? He's a Marvel nerd, not a DC nerd, I guess.
Yeah, DC has sucked it up lately.
So you cried during that, and I cried during everything now, and Peter doesn't cry at all. Man,
I'm a cold,
Sociopath.
heartless...
He cries when he goes to haunted houses.
That's true.
Oh, do you? What? You cry at haunted houses? Oh, I gotta
pretty
hear about
scared.
this. What do you mean?
I haven't cried.
I've never been to a haunted house with Peter.
Oh, that would be fun.
Were you not with us when we went to
Myrtle Beach, right? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
You didn't know. I was. I don't remember if I left. I think I left early. I think you guys went that year I showcased, and I showcased and left. Amanda was working with me.
So he wasn't with us.
I was not
for
with you at all.
Pigman.
I was not there.
No Pigman for you.
I've known Peter. Peter's like my brother, and I've never seen him in a haunted house. Is he funny? Does he scream?
Such a little girl.
Oh, we gotta go to a haunted
we
house
had a girl
now.
with us who was, she was way braver.
And she was half my size.
You know,
so was Amanda, right?
She was half.
Oh, it was Amanda, the person who worked with me.
Clutching onto her human shield.
You know, it's actually, I've known Peter for a long time. It's not surprising at all. I have to hold his hand through life, pretty much.
I need the emotional support, guys. Come on.
That's why I'm in the tractor business with the rugged men, and he's still doing magic tricks with the girly men.
With that said...
Hey, it's time for Stories from the Road.
Wow, I really like that intro. That was cool.
Thanks, man. I made it all by myself. So I have been doing after prom shows. You guys have done them, right?
Yeah.
After
yes.
prom grad nights. And they happen really early in the morning. I did a 3 a.m. grad show.
God.
So I went to bed for a couple hours, woke up for a couple hours, did the show, went back to bed, and then drove home. And you know how I gauge the success of my after prom shows?
How?
I count the people that are sleeping in the audience before the show starts, and if there's the same amount or less sleeping at the end of the show, it was a successful show.
Nice. I can see that. So, you know, it's funny. You doing after prom shows, you're essentially a big cock blocker. That's what you are. Instead of like sneaking into a hallway or a bathroom, you just block everybody's cock.
I don't.
Congratulations.
That's exactly what after prom parties are for. What that the schools put on. They don't want you drinking. They don't want you doing
Yeah,
sex.
they hate being there.
They don't. They don't want you doing any of the fun stuff.
Do people actually go to these after? I've never done an after prom show. I've only done after graduation shows.
It's the same deal.
So
it's a
after
lock-in.
the
They
prom-
get everybody in there so they're not
Really?
drinking and driving. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't do any of that for my prom. Did you do that for your prom?
I didn't go to prom. I was one of the cool kids.
You were one of the
No.
cool
I didn't go
kids.
to prom either. Guess where I went?
Where'd you go?
A magic convention.
Oh my god! I went to prom. I got drunk and I got laid. Hell yeah!
Really? Wow.
Yeah,
From
and-
who?
From my wife. No. I had to
save.
marry her.
Good save.
So, note to would-be having sex on prom night. You're going to marry that girl.
You
Or-
should cue
or
a song
guy.
right there. Or guy. Wow, this is a progressive podcast. That's
Well, we
great.
could be talking to
Yeah.
the 5% of girls that are listening.
I instantly went the gay route, and you went to the other
Or
side
both.
Of the
Either
yeah,
way.
it could be either
It
way.
doesn't matter.
So,
Either
Yeah,
way, we're
yeah,
cool.
yeah.
It's fine.
So CJ does hypnosis shows and loves doing the grad night or after prom shows because at 4 a.m. he could be like sleep and they just
piece
knock
of cake,
out.
and then he just stands there,
Like,
lets him take a
I'm
nap.
the best.
That's true.
Wait, but do they wake up to do funny stuff?
I mean, you can
They
poke
drool.
them. There's nothing wrong with poking
You
them.
poke them. Yeah, I've done after grad night shows where I was in a similar situation where everybody was just passed out, and it was actually one of the worst shows I've ever done. It was the same thing, like 3 a.m. I was exhausted, they were exhausted, and it sucks I could totally relate to you. You probably, even though your audience was sleeping, you had to like perform with the same like gusto that you normally
Oh,
do.
yeah. I mean, not everybody. There was like, I don't know, 5 to 8 sleeping
people.
maybe.
Oh.
That's my guesstimate.
Okay. That's not so
I
bad.
don't remember exactly. The show was good. Everyone was into it, I think. And
Yeah,
they didn't really have a choice. They were.
If they were twitching, they were having a good dream, and if they were like drooling,
Dude, I'll tell you, that's one of the things I like about that style of show, though. For me personally, high school I'm not good at high school. Like college, I got, corporate, I got, but high school for some reason is always really difficult. And I think it's because there's this weird feeling in high school of I've got to try to still be cool so I can't laugh out loud. I don't know.
Oh, yeah, it's irritating.
The nice thing about those grad night shows is basically you have a captive audience, as in like they're required by law to be there.
It's totally true.
They're literally locked into the building.
That's right.
They're literally locked into your room.
And you are literally the most interesting thing happening at that moment. Or other
than the wet dream they're having while you're performing.
Right?
It's true. Like, there's really not a big age difference between senior in high school and freshman in college, but from a performer standpoint, huge difference in audience quality.
Yeah, I find.
Oh, absolutely.
I find that I find it more in middle school, the 7th, 8th, 9th, maybe 6th grade, 7th and 8th, where they don't know if they're supposed to like you or not. They're like
they don't know.
They don't know if you're cool
to clap for a magician.
Yeah,
who blew my mind.
They wait for the cool kids. Like if you get the cool kids to clap and get excited about it, the whole audience will fall into place. But you got to get those guys or girls to like get into what you're doing. Otherwise, you're just gonna sink.
That is a good point.
Yeah, that's absolutely
no
true.
one goes out on a limb.
Man. Actually, for me personally, middle school I don't mind because I'll just scan the crowd. I'll find the kid that clearly is trying to be too cool for school. I'll bring him up on stage. I'll blow his mind, and then I'll be like, "Hey, after the show, I'll give you a magic trick." And then for the rest of the time, like I got middle school in like eating out of the bottom of my hand.
So you bribe your middle school audience?
But high school's tough, man. Like, hey, everybody, and they're like, hey, I'm going to get on Yik Yak and fuck your day.
So you bribe your middle school audiences.
I'll show you a magic trick if you're good.
I will bribe anybody, absolutely.
You could do that with high schoolers. You'd be like, I'll give you this bottle of vodka.
See, I'm the opposite. Back on the typecast thing, when I walk into a room, people see my fucking crazy spiky hair. They instantly think like, dude, that dude's a hip-hop breakdancer. Or the nerds think like, wow, he's a Super Saiyan. Like, I get everybody right away.
What's a Super Saiyan?
Oh, my God, Peter, you don't know. When Gus, in one of your episodes, shouted out to a Super Saiyan, I had a hard-on. It was amazing. Super Saiyan is a superhero from the Dragon Ball Z universe.
Oh, I'm
you
sorry.
Don't know your Japanese anime?
I don't cry at superhero movies. I'm so sorry.
Did you not grow up in the 90s? They were the most popular cartoon in the universe.
I was a Power Rangers dude. Sorry.
They were. If you were a Power Ranger dude, you should have been a Dragon Ball Z dude.
Yeah. The Power Rangers are getting on their knees and bowing down to the Super Saiyan.
This is just proof that I came into Peter's life a little too late. He didn't get the Asian nerdy friend until a little bit later.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Yeah. So, I'm sorry, Peter. I'm sorry that Norm failed you.
I am a blank when you guys are talking about that shit.
You know, I've tried to
got nothing for that.
I've tried to have Peter do the fusion Dragon Ball Z pose, and we'll test how many nerds listen to Monday Club. And do you remember this? You had no idea how to stand, and I'm like, what? We're fusing. And you're just blank look.
It's two fingers.
Yeah. Oh my God, Gus! I'm
gonna
marry
How
Gus.
hard is that?
He knows it. The 2 pointer fingers. Yeah, get in front of the camera just like this.
All right, everybody, if you know what they are talking about, this crazy bullshit they're talking about,
email.
I want to see a picture on Facebook or Instagram. Tag us. I want to see this picture of 2 fingers. Let's specify 2 fingers in context of whatever Dragon Ball Z is.
Well, all right. I'm going to dig up the old photo I did eventually get of us fusing, and I'll show it. Gus, you are my man crush now. My camera's not working, but he just did the 2-finger thing, and incredible.
You're totally frozen.
For those of you who are playing the other game, Gus just did the 2-finger thing.
To Norm.
Gus just did the 2-finger thing. That's great.
Gus just fingered Norm with 2 fingers.
We fused as to one with 2 fingers.
Oh, man. You guys are sick.
Nerds unite.
Oh, man. You have any shows this week, Gus?
No, thanks for rubbing salt into that wound.
I'm unemployed this week.
No, but at the end of this month is when grad night season starts, and it's like I've got like for 3 or 4 days back to back, I've got 3 a.m. shows, and it is, man, those are like the absolute roughest because you've got to give. Because it's high school, you got to give like the absolute most energy you have. but I'm setting up at 11 o'clock at night to do my show at 3 o'clock in the morning, and then tearing down, packing everything in, driving to the next location, getting 3 or 4 hours of sleep, and then repeat, do that over again. Man, grad night season is great because it's 5 or 6 shows back to back, and at the same time, it's rough because it is. I mean, you were running on fumes after the first one, and then you were just soldiering through the rest of them.
Oh yeah, man! You can die quickly
absolutely.
doing back-to-back grad night shows.
I don't do back-to-back grad nights for that very reason. I do 1 or 2, and that's it. I can't.
Well,
keep up
you
with that.
have the luxury of not having to make your entire living from doing
true,
magic
that's
shows.
Yeah, lots of coffee and Red Bull for you guys, I bet.
Yeah,
The
one I did, they actually. That was the first time I requested a hotel room, which was super nice.
Really?
I got to the hotel room and got to bed by 9 p.m. and then
woke up at 2 in the morning.
12:30, showered, went to work. And
It's so for me, it's so funny because for those grad night shows, when you do have to stay at a hotel, what the game at a hotel is to maximize your time that you can be at a hotel. So you want to be able to check in as early as possible. So those places that have 3 p.m. check-in, it's no. I need to check in at 6 a.m. and I need no one to knock on my door until 9 p.m.
Yeah, right.
Don't try to clean my shit. Don't do anything. I don't want breakfast. Don't do turn-down service. I need the hotel room for this weird period of time, and then you go out and do your thing. So
so you instantly put the do not disturb on the door. You put the sock on the door handle. You do everything you can to keep people away.
All of it.
little cowboy hat and a tie. Everyone's like, "Oh, this guy's getting a little."
Do not bother me.
Something fun's happening there. Nope, sleeping.
I once pulled into a hotel and they told me that they couldn't check us in because they were during grad night season. They couldn't check us in because they were doing their daily audit. Because we showed up at that weird time of the day where they think no one's going to show up to a hotel. So we showed up and they were like, well, we can't check you in. We're doing our audit. And so we just, like homeless people, slept in their lobby.
That's funny.
That's what I do whenever, because you get in early into hotels, so you're always at the mercy of the hotel clerk, front desk person to get you in early to your room. So whenever they say they don't have a room ready, I always do that. And I set up in the lobby, and I'm like, I'll just wait over here. I take my shoes off. I set up my computer. I start talking loud on the phone.
That's funny.
So they want to find me a room.
I always bat my eyes and do my best to get in early. I'm like, I just got into town. I'm so tired. And I bat my eyes for 5 minutes and hoping that they'll hook me up.
Bat your eyes?
Hey,
I'm like,
there's a gay Super Saiyan
yeah, I
over
go
here.
Super
He
Saiyan,
really
exactly.
needs a room.
And more often than not, I usually check in at 10 a.m. typically.
Nice.
So I get
Have you been doing a lot of shows lately? Or
No, I don't perform really at all anymore.
No,
for the past couple months.
Ever since Penn and Teller, you're like, screw this shit. I'm going home with my bag of tricks.
That's pretty much. I keep getting offered to do these TV shows and pilots. I just got offered to be on Showtime at the Apollo, and I got offered to be on these.
Are you gonna do it?
Hell no, that show sucks. They the show. They boo audience. The audience has the control to decide what acts they want to see off sooner, so they boo you. I don't think I'd get booed, but I can't support that kind of audience behavior. I'm like a snob in terms of performing arts. This is art. Even if you suck, it's art. And if you boo them off the stage, you're the lowest life form, in my opinion. So I will never go on a show like that.
Pete, do you hear that? He chose our show over Showtime at the Apollo.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they really wanted me on, too. They're like, come record with us in 5 days. You don't have to rehearse. We'll just get you on. Has Steve Harvey, blah, blah, blah. And I said, no thanks. And I keep getting offered for these TV show pilots. And it's funny. Since quitting magic and show business, I'm getting more TV offers. People are like, wow. You'd do tractor stuff now?
It makes it more interesting.
Exactly.
And
can we
enticing
combine the two? They're like, can you talk about tractors and magic? And by the way, can you spike your hair? I cannot leave this spiking hair. I've been spiking my hair since I was 13, and people continuously ask me, if you come on the show, you still spike your hair, right? Like, I'm permanently typecast. I'm like Screech from Saved by the Bell. I'm like this weird character actor. The only reason they want to book me is because I'm like an Asian redneck with spiky hair. Like,
wait, so is that a real thing? Like when you go on TV shows or when you get an offer, is there literally a line that says, "Hey man, but we need your hair to be," you know,
every single one
style.
has expressed the desire for my spiky hair. Even when I did Penn and Teller Fool Us,
really,
on CW, yeah, they said, "Are you going to do your hair like that?" Like, and it's true, even locally in the small sense, like, people recognize me in my local town because I've done a lot of, like, public shows in my local town only if I have spiky hair. So I purposely wear a hat and don't spike my hair when I go out and about so other people don't see me being, like, a terrible father in front of my kids. But if I have my spiky hair, they're like, "That's the magician that I saw come to my school." There's only like 500 people that live in my town, by the way. So like I have to spike my hair.
You said you were an Asian magician redneck with spiky hair. That's
right.
Incorrect. You are the only redneck magician
exactly.
with
And
spiky hair.
I think that's why, and even the tractor world, people comment on my hair, because there have been some YouTube videos I've done with tractor stuff where I had a show the day before and I was too lazy to take a shower before I filmed the YouTube video, and I have spiky hair, and they call me and saying, "My wife loves your hair." It's like you weld too much, and people will comment on my YouTube videos like, "Whoa, stay away from the welder, look at your hair." Even the tractor people want me to spike my hair now. It's crazy. I can't escape it. I'm like this character person.
Yeah, you created it, man, and now you got to live in it.
It is true, though. Spiking my hair, I look 10 years older. So instead of looking like I'm 12, I look like I'm 22. If I don't do anything to my hair, you'd be like, "Hey, shouldn't you be in class right now? Where's your hall pass?" Seriously.
I think it's great, man. Spiky hair.
Yeah, Peter, you guys have the opposite problem. You guys look much older than
I
me.
wish I had that problem I wish people booked me for my hair. They probably don't book me for my lack of hair.
Yeah, Gus is bald and Peter's about to be bald.
Let me tell you something. I went to, I had the same barber for like 5 or 6 years.
Wow, you are
right?
Texan. You went to a barber?
Yeah. Dude, come on now. I went to my same barber for 5 or 6 years, and I mean, me and this dude had like a barber customer relationship that was exactly what you want, right? And finally, the last time I went to him, he like cut my hair, and he's like, I'm gonna just cut it down to where you have a whisper of hair. And I was like, okay, that's fine. So he cuts it down, and then after he does it, he's like, "Man, that's a good haircut." And I was like, "Yeah, man, thanks." And he's like, "Yeah, listen, don't come back."
What?
Yeah, he's like, "Don't come back. You from here on out, I'm just robbing you of money. So you know how to shave your head? It's a razor and some and some soap. Just this is our last haircut." This is like, "Oh,
that's funny."
Okay. He's like, yeah, man. I just don't want to rob you. I don't want to rob you of your money. There's nothing I can do about your genetics. Goodbye."
You have the most honest barber ever.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, dude, he was great, man. It was like a ceremony. Like, we had a ceremony, and he gave me a Diet Coke, and we shook hands. And
did he secretly implant a chemical in your head? Because it doesn't look like you grow any hair at all anymore.
Oh no, man! I still grow hair, but instead of a forehead, I have a 5 head, and it's like working on a 6 head.
That was great. Yeah, no, I don't have a 4-head or a 6-head. I have like a 1-head, and I'm just covered in this spiky hair. I have spiky hair as we speak right now. Peter told me, and the only reason to come on this podcast, I can only come on this podcast if I spike my hair, and nobody looks at this.
I totally said that to him.
Yeah,
because I do not want to see him without his spiky hair. He's ugly.
That's true.
I think we should do. So here's a little throwback. This next segment is something that me and Norm had planned for our 11th episode on Monday Club version 1, and I thought it would be cool to do it now. Because this is like the, I don't know, what do we say? The new, obviously this is the reboot.
2.0.
Yeah, and we're in uncharted territory. First ever episode 11. So we had planned 10 ways to make your summer awesome Monday Club style.
I actually don't even remember this. I'm looking at the list here. I'm like, oh yeah, that's right.
So on number 1.
Or do we start at number 10?
Well, they're in no particular order,
Oh,
I
okay.
think. But you could put them in your own order. Number 1, you need to go skinny dipping like Norm.
Oh, I don't even remember the story that originated with this. But
Norm went skinny dipping, what, in Minnesota?
Oh, it's that story. Okay, yes, yes. There's nothing more freeing than going skinny dipping. This is funny. I haven't thought about this story in a long time. But yeah, I did a performance in northern Michigan, the Upper Peninsula, and afterwards, the advisors, everybody took me out, and we had a crazy night of partying that ended with us naked in Lake Superior. Now, Lake Superior is a ginormous lake, and it is fucking cold no matter what time of the year you go, and this must have been October, and I'm Asian already, so you can kind of visualize that. So I skinny dip.
Wait, does it shrink anymore?
I pretty much became a woman when I jumped in this, and thankfully we were all wasted. It was the middle of the night, but yeah, I skinny dipped with like a dozen people in like the coldest water you can imagine. It was like October and it was still like 33 degrees. It was awful. But it was freeing and amazing at the same time. Had a great
one
time.
with nature.
One with nature.
Gus,
so
you ever do
skinny dipping?
You ever do the skinny dipping?
I have done the skinny dipping, though. Since my wife listens to the podcast, I have never gone skinny dipping with any of my clients.
That's how big of a dirtbag I am.
Ditto for that.
Now, just to be fair, this was early in my showbiz career. Back when I was in my young 20s and I was hip.
You didn't know better.
I did not know better. But, ironically, like that would be career suicide for a lot of entertainers. But I got booked by the same venue for like 8 years in a row. I became a legend. Everyone told me.
So the moral of the story is to go skinny dipping with all your clients, right?
Exactly.
I think this is the moral of the story.
As long as you spike your hair.
Wait, pause. Oh my god. So we've got a top 10 list. I don't know if we're going to make it through all 10 things. I don't know. But Pete, I've got to ask you, man. Has that situation, I'm going to put you on the spot, dude. Has that situation or a situation similar to that ever arisen while you were out on the road with your clients?
No. I've never been invited to go skinny dipping with my clients. I had a weird situation, though, where this couple hit on me and wanted me to join them in
Did you take it?
in their room. No, I did not. They were college students.
Oh, I mean, of course you would take it.
But back in my early days, I went. This brings us to 1.5. I went streaking.
Oh,
you ever do that?
I have never been streaking again because I'm Asian, so I would never go streaking.
Back in Florida, we were having a few drinks one night, and everyone went streaking the night before, and I chickened out. And so they were saying, you got to go tonight. So I decided to go streaking that night, and my clothes were outside, and I went. It had to have been at least 100-yard run around this big structure in our apartment complex, and they took my clothes and locked the door.
That's awesome.
To the apartment.
That's what I would do, too.
That's fucked up.
And it was in an apartment complex, well lit, family.
Did anyone see you and comment?
I had a little magnetic key on my car, so I grabbed the magnetic key and I sat in my car. And then the girl that I liked came out and handed me my clothes through the window and left.
Wow.
Nice.
Now, and she left because she's like, nothing to see here. Now, is it still streaking if nobody sees you, though? If you ran around the apartment complex and nobody saw you, is that streaking?
It means I was successful.
You got to streak through like a
listen.
football game.
For me, it's like my fat kid swag kicks in. It's like between streaking and skinny dipping, I'll take skinny dipping the whole time because after a 100-yard sprint. There's absolutely nothing sexy about that. Like, you'll just see a fat, sweaty man.
I would love to see that, Gus.
You have one fan, Gus. Number 2, learn to make a killer mojito. I was going to make mojitos for this episode, but I ran out of time this morning. But learn to make a killer mojito. Here's my recipe, if I can remember it from my brain. You have 1 ounce simple syrup, 1 ounce lime juice, 2 ounces rum, and then you put the 10 or 12 mint leaves. You muddle, squish the mint leaves in the bottom. Then you add crushed ice. That's very important, crushed ice. And you mix it and add a splash of Topo Chico.
There's that Topo Chico again.
Water with bubbles in it. and you have the perfect mojito. Done. Simple
delicious.
syrup is 1 part water to 1 part sugar. You boil the water, get it nice and warm, put the sugar in, and it what is it? Evaporates? What do you call
it? Reduce it. Is that what that means? It boils away, reduce it.
I don't know. It disappears. It absorbs
magic.
into the water.
Wow.
I can't think of the word.
He uses
It
magic
vanishes.
terms. It disappears. That's science.
Number 3, build something with your hands. What have you built lately, Gus, with your hands?
Dude, the other day we built a foundation for one of our buildings
Nice,
on
awesome.
our property. Yeah, so we like cleared off an area and then built with boards like a
You built a wood
base.
form.
Yeah. That, I don't want to be super specific, but yeah, built with boards, a base, and then leveled that, and then put the building back on top of that so that
Awesome.
it was above the rain line and stuff like that. So yeah, I did some construction recently. That was the last thing I built with my hands.
Tractors?
Yeah, I build stuff for a living now. I most recently completed a tractor loader backhoe. So I built an entire front-end loader and backhoe system that's capable of digging out at like 4,000 pounds of pressure at the cutting teeth. So I build stuff like that every day. It's awesome. You get to beat your chest and be like, I am man.
Wow, that sounds way more manly than I've done lately. I've built a new magic trick, which I can't go into details.
Which is awesome. That's impressive as well.
It's like ground up magic trick too. It's not something it's never been done before this way. So
Yeah.
Nice.
I love building stuff. You can be proud of what you've made. You built it with your own mind and hands. That's the best thing you can do, in my opinion.
yeah,
Just
makes
build
you feel
something.
good. That sense
Absolutely.
of accomplishment.
Like when you see that building, Gus, you're gonna be like, "Damn, the reason that sits level to this day is because of my foundation." Yeah.
Oh yeah, dude, absolutely. Yeah. And I'll tell you, it's funny because for most of what I do, it's not that grassroots. I am building stuff with wrenches and tools and all that stuff. But when you have the opportunity to do it, it's like, first of all, it's honestly not that hard. It's really not. It's not. It's all very logical. And second of all, it changes the face of whatever it is that you were working on, right? Like, that's a new building now. And the tractor that you were working on, that's a new thing. Like, and the magic trick, like, that's a brand new thing that no one else has exactly like you. So yeah, it's kind of a powerful deal.
Absolutely.
It's kind of a powerful thing that you do.
Nice. Number 4, learn a good joke and tell it all summer, so you get really good at it by the end of the summer.
That's right.
I have a joke.
Let's hear it.
It's a pirate joke, by the way. He walks into a bar, and the pirate's got a steering wheel in his pants, right? And so he orders a drink. He orders a rum, of course. And the bartender gives him his rum, and the bartender's like, "Man, I just have to ask, man, why do you have a steering wheel in your pants?" And the pirate says, "Arr, it's driving me nuts."
I like it. That's funny. But
When I first heard that, I couldn't stop laughing.
Yeah, I got a joke that's my go-to joke, but it's evil. It shows me how evil I am, and I'll tell you how ironic it is. It's Gus, what's better than winning the Special Olympics?
What's better than being in
Walking.
the Special Olympics?
Oh.
And it's so funny. I've known that. Like, I like it on so many levels. Because it's so surprising. Because when you look at me, you don't think of me as this evil person, and I throw out this evil punchline, and it's funny. Of course, I don't mean it. Actually, my son, who's deaf,
it's weird?
competes in the Special Olympics every year.
You got the wrong Olympics, though. That's the
Paralympics. Oh shit! You just took apart my joke. Damn it!
Jesus.
No, but if you say
Jesus.
Paralympics, it leads the joke. It leads the punchline.
yeah,
So you gotta
okay.
say Special Olympics. But
Yeah.
it is evil.
Yeah,
I always get a
yeah.
cringy laugh, but you can always identify the people who are closeted assholes when they laugh like crazy when they hear that.
All right, so I got one like that. Here we go. What do you call a black man flying an airplane?
Don't know.
I don't know.
The pilot, you fucking racist. Jesus Christ.
That is funny.
I love that joke so much, and it's funny because it starts off as like, oh shit, he's telling a racist joke, and it's so blatantly obvious that no one would. I can just see one time somebody's gonna be like, is he the pilot of the aircraft?
You're right.
Oh, that's great.
See, I love humor like that because that's what jokes are for. It's to satiricalize the world. Like you saying that joke doesn't make you a racist. Me saying the Paralympic joke doesn't make me an asshole. But it's shining light on this taboo topic, and it is important that then we all talk about it afterwards. And none of us are racist, but I love that joke. Even though I'm not racist, I sometimes love racist humor.
Well, it's funny because it's important, and I think the important part of every joke is that there's a grain of truth,
exactly,
like cosmic truth that's in a good joke. Like it's not one of those yuck jokes or whatever, or puns or whatever. In a good joke, there's like some piece of human experience and truth that is built in there somewhere that, like you said, shines light on that experience.
Absolutely. Like your joke, for example, illustrates how many people probably have to stop and think. They're thinking about a racist connection there with the black pilot when the answer is simply a pilot. And you're right. It shows a light on our deficiencies as people so we can improve. And I love that joke.
Yeah, cool.
We're all better because of your racist humor.
Yeah,
Gus.
thank you. Thank you for making us laugh at black pilots.
Number 5, play the Super Troopers game. You guys know that game where you have to...
Are you going to play it right, Meow?
Yeah,
meow.
The meow, yeah.
A couple years ago, I did that game in a show where I put out on Facebook, I need some words, some phrases, and I will work them into my show all night. And I got, 15 or 20 recommendations. I am happy to say I got in every one that I could remember. It was pretty freaking hilarious.
Yeah.
Anyone ever play the Super Trooper game?
No, I've never tried to do the random meow thing. Until maybe meow.
It's hilarious. It really is fun. It's like just being like, hey, are we gonna do that thing right now? and seeing if you can sneak it in is really, really fun.
Oh, I love it. So play that game over the summer in weird, awkward situations.
And that game, by the way, is just randomly insert the word meow into your conversation with others.
Or you can challenge a friend and come up with your own saying or word or sound as well. Number 6, learn a magic trick for social gatherings and perform it. Done. That's, on my YouTube channel, I teach a cool card trick. Go learn it there.
YouTube.com/PeterBlois.
Thank you, Norm. Number 7, go hiking in the woods or mountains.
Oh, I love hiking.
Do you hike, Gus?
I'm not as big of a hiker as you guys, but then again, I live in Texas where it's topographically flat.
When you go hiking, you're trying to get from Mexico to Texas, right?
Yeah. If you're hiking, there's some shit that's gone seriously wrong right now.
Number 8, go to a concert and go crowd surfing.
Ooh, I've done that.
You have?
I've
never
really.
crowd surfed.
I used to go to. There was this girl in high school that I had a big crush on, and she was big into like 311 and Filter and all these rock bands. So I used to always go with them, and to show off, I would always, every concert, crowd surf. So I've crowd surfed maybe like 10 times.
Anyone ever drop you on your head?
Yes. They drop me, but not on my head, on my back. But usually people in the mosh pit of a concert are actually really courteous.
And strong.
So I was a little kid in high school. I weighed like maybe $110, and I would just tap on a big guy's shoulder and just point up. And they would always smile and just like throw me up, and I'd crowd surf. And sometimes they would push me crowd surfing to the front of the group, and then the security would make them put me down, and then I'd walk back. But one time they like tossed me, and nobody caught me, and I just landed on the floor on my back, and everybody spread out. And they asked me like if I was okay, and they helped me up, and we just kept going. Like crowd surfing is really fun. Really fun.
Oh, man.
That's hilarious. Yeah, I gotta say, I've always been the guy lifting, never been the guy crowd surfing.
Oh, man. Number 9, play slip and slide flip cup.
What the hell is slip and slide flip cup?
I've
never done that.
I'm trying to remember what it is, and I think what you do is you have a slip and slide, and at the bottom of the slip and slide, you have a table with flip cups set up. You have 2 slip and slides, obviously. So the first person, first couple goes down, does the flip cup. Once they get the cup flipped right, the next people go down the slip and slide and then do their flip cup. And so then they do it that way until whoever.
So it's a race.
It's a race.
That's
yeah,
amazing. I'm going to do that this summer with my kids.
With juice or whiskey?
I'm going to say that my
whiskey.
health insurance doesn't cover that. Like, Jesus Christ, that's a quick way to break a leg.
Yeah, that sounds really fun. And you've done this in your...
No, I want to do it though. I'm planning on it one day when I reach my midlife crisis,
which is coming up.
So when I was like I don't know, 8, 9, 10 years old, I went to this summer camp that was basically this one dude at his house said, I don't care. You guys just bring your kids over and pay me $80 a month, and I don't give a shit. Bring those little kids over. So I went over to his house, and this guy did a couple of things that were really badass that I'll never forget as a child. The first one was that he bought a bunch of bales of hay, and we set up like a square of the bales of hay, filled it with this giant piece of plastic, like just a giant sort of tarp looking thing. So we filled the bales of hay with this tarp and then filled it up with water, and we had our own swimming pool. Like, it was like the most ghetto swimming pool of all time, but it was cool. It was really fun. And then the second thing we did is we took that same piece of plastic and laid it out end to end, sprayed it with dish soap and put a water spout on it, and then we made our own homemade slip and slide. And I'll never forget that summer. It was really, really fun.
That's awesome. That sounds amazing. And number 10, actually party on a Monday.
That is the best day to party, of course.
Go out on a Monday.
It is the best day to party.
Peter and I used to party on Mondays on a regular basis, and it's ironic that it's my birthday today, because on my 21st birthday, we partied like crazy in San Francisco, and it happened to be a Monday, and I'm going to leave the details kind of blurred out for now. But it was an epic day. The best day to party is always on a Monday. You get all the attention.
And that's how Monday Club was formed.
And that is exactly how Monday Club was born. Monday's the best.
When I was in college, me and my group of friends would go out on Monday downtown, and we'd hit up the bar section in Austin. It's called 6th Street. We'd hit up 6th Street, and on like Monday through Wednesday, you could basically go into any bar and get 25-cent you call it's. So you want a shot, 25 cents. You want a beer, 25
that's
cents.
Awesome.
Like anything that was like in the Wells, like not top shelf but Wells, 25 cents.
Wow.
And so for $6, you could get faded as hell like downtown. And so yeah, Mondays always had a special place in my heart.
Yeah, and you're always first in line. There's no worries about when or how you're going to get your drink. They're ready there.
That's true. No, you get to know the DJs like by name, and bartenders by name. The C Team group that's always there on the Monday.
That's right.
You get to know them. It's great.
Let's start a movement. Everybody start partying on Mondays. You're gonna not.
And then Tuesdays becomes the worst hated day of the week because
exactly.
you have to go to
wake
work
up
all
at noon.
hungover. Oh man. So that is our 10 ways to make your summer awesome, Monday Club style. And this week's Teachable Moments, Norm, we're going to give this whole segment to you. What do you have to impart upon us, your wonderful knowledge? Give us something to learn.
Listen, kids, pull up around me. You always want to make sure you wear proper fitting clothing. I had one time was at this really important entertainment conference known as NACA, where you book shows for your life as a professional entertainer. And I went against my rule, and I bought pants that were sub-quality and sub-fitting. And in the most crucial moments of hanging out with potential buyers, my jeans split open right in the crotch. And I didn't know it until one of my buyers pointed out that, dude, you've got a hole in your nuts, by the way. And it was so embarrassing because I was in my young 20s and Peter was there. And do you remember this?
I remember.
We were in the hallway late at night and my legs were like spread out as I was sitting on the floor.
We were just sitting on the hall next to the elevators.
And I had this big ass cut right into my balls. And I think I was wearing boxers at the time. Now I wear tight-fitting underwear. But back then, I wore boxers. And lucky for me, my boxers were covering my privates. And But it was the most embarrassing moment of my showbiz career.
Wait, did they book you like the skinny dipping people?
I don't remember.
Did you get more bookings?
Yeah, right.
Because you showed them your nuts.
Yeah, I got other bookings of another sort. So yeah, it's funny because I didn't learn that lesson right away. Because fast forward like 10 years later, I was doing a show at University of Hartford, and I was wearing like back then I was like super fit. Like I looked like Bruce Lee. Like Peter can attest. I was like,
you look
really,
like Bruce Lee now.
Well, thank you. Bruce Lee, 20 pounds overweight, maybe. But I was like at the fittest point in my life, but I still wore these pants that were probably a size too tight. And I was doing my show, and I did something in the rear of my pants, right down the ass crack from like the top of my waist all the way to the bottom of my balls, ripped wide open. And I stopped my show at like 40 minutes in length because of that. Because I could not turn around. And I was not wearing flattering underwear at the time. If I was, I would have just made a joke and continued on. But I don't remember what I was wearing. But it was like...
tighty whities.
Something like that. And I remember like scooting over to the front row where my bookers were. And I said, I hope you don't mind, but I'm going to cut the show short today. Because my entire ass is hanging out right now. And they told me it was fine. And I literally did the remaining 10 minutes of the show without turning around because I had a University of Hartford.
Isn't your finale turning around?
Exactly. The finale of my show is turning around and showing my backside. So I didn't even do that. I didn't even do that trick because my pants were like, they weren't ripped slightly. I looked at it afterwards. They were whipped wide open. And I think I was wearing something stupid like whitey tighties or something not flattering. And I scooted off the stage like without showing my back.
That's hilarious.
So wear normal fitting pants,
or wear pants that are sewn well,
that are not from Goodwill apparently.
Or wear some amazing underwear just in case.
That's right.
Or just clean ones.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I wish I could have been showing a what do they call it? Skid streak?
Skid.
Yeah.
Yeah. For all you future magicians listening to this podcast, wear tighty whities with the Jack of Hearts sewed into the back
as you're
so
out.
that if you have to do a finale, that's your finale.
Well, gentlemen, this has been an amazing episode of Monday Club. It's so awesome to get Norman here and kind of rehash first version as we move forward with episode 11 and beyond with me and Gus. Thanks, man, for being part of the podcast today.
My pleasure. I love being here. This is awesome. Please invite me back. I'm like smiles ear to ear.
Yeah, man, we'll have to do it again.
It's great. This is like genuine hanging out.
Nice.
Yeah,
and happy birthday, bro. Happy birthday.
Yeah,
Wish Norm a happy
absolutely.
birthday on Facebook or whatever. Whenever, even if it's not his birthday when you hear this,
Yeah, just
he'll love it.
send me a birthday wish like 2 months later. I love it. Make my day.
Happy Monday.
Hey, I fit right in.
Not too bad. You didn't lose it.
No, I'm drunk though.
Hey, thank you all for watching or listening to Monday Club. Thank you so much. Check us out, MondayClubPodcast.com, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Email us questions, comments, concerns, MondayClubPodcast@gmail.com, or buy us a drink on PayPal, MondayClubPodcast@gmail.com. Special thank you to Norman Ng.
Oh, yeah, it's good to be here.
iSaveTractors.com for being our guest today. And thank you to James Caldwell, sound engineer, and Zach Holder for our music.